Okay, I call this meeting to order, the City Council, for December 9th.
For today.
And roll call.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams, Miller.
Yes.
All right, our first thing, we have a presentation, Mr. Slater.
Yes, we will be starting our departmental updates, and usually we start with economic development in December, and so we're going to do it again this year. So, we're going to start with Gigi.
Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present. I've been on the job just under 2 months, so I think it's a month and 10 days. So don't have a lot to cover, but I have researched the market, and I kind of want to go over all the positive things that I found. So basically, economic development, as you know, encourages investment, job creation, retention, increases our tax base, diversity of local economy, and enhances the quality. A community without economic development does not grow because you don't have anyone promoting your area and they don't know you exist. This is a very competitive business and market that you're in to grow your community. Economic development report, there's 24 new business licenses. 17 of the 23 are brick and mortar buildings.
You brought some, excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay.
We got a
That's
little
okay.
commotion with cookies for a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. All right, sorry, Gigi.
No, that's fine. I'd rather have sweets too.
Okay.
17 of the 23 are brick and mortar buildings, 2 are home-based buildings, 2 are food trucks, and 2 are beauticians. In 2024, we did unfortunately have 4 businesses closing. In 2024, new single-family home permits, we had 22 new single-family housing permits compared to 21 last year. So staying pretty even. And we've had 1 renovation project. Here is our top employers. Mexico Public Schools have the most, but after touring a couple of our manufacturers and listening to their expectations of growing, I think that could be changing in the near future, which is a positive thing too. The big exciting news happened before I came here, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I have heard him speak at a couple different meetings, and this is very exciting. You're going to have Western Smokehouse partnering with Chomps, which Chomps is a quality health conscious beef stick. They're grass-fed beef, no preservatives, and I went and bought some the other day, and they're pretty tasty. So they do beef, they do turkey, and and venison, okay. I could only find turkey and beef ones, but they're really good. They're creating 280 jobs and investing $67 million into the community. Building a sustainable future. There was a $44.6 million investment in building and equipment costs for a solar farm project covering about 440 acres located on the east and west side of Highway 54. If you've driven down it, you've probably seen it. It is south of the North Fork Western Railroad tracks. That's pretty impressive to see too. Here I got this off of LinkedIn, and I recognize that you guys have some national recognition. A Hall of Fame, Sebastian Hines was inducted to the Experimental Aircraft Association out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin Hall of Fame. I did ask him if I could share that photo, and I think that's pretty impressive anytime you get national recognition for a community. I also found out that Roger Dubert also received a national recognition for Spirit of Flight Award. I think these are worth mentioning because this helps promote your area too when individuals get high recognitions like this. Driving the community success with city leadership and resources. I kind of want to tell you, you guys the city council, are providing our city leaders with significantly contributing to the growth and well-being of our communities. These resources empower our leaders to effectively address the needs of our residents, improve our public services, drive initiatives that enhance quality of life for everyone. We're seeing tangible benefits from these investments, which are helping build a stronger, more resilient community. And I'm going to give you some examples of the first three that I listed there, but I also want to talk about investing in the organizations have proven and are promising impact, like the Mexico Chamber of Commerce. It has just been unbelievable to me to see all the impact and all the things that she contributes to small businesses, to community activities, let alone be on a lot of the different boards in the organization. And I highlighted Mexico Sustainability Program because I've been to 2 of their board meetings, and they are having wonderful success stories there. Of the 7 in the Getting Ahead program, they've had 3 success stories of people getting employed. One of those actually being on governmental assistance for years and now is full-time employed. C2C, they came and they talked about how they're working with the middle school and introducing and engaging students in new after-school programs. They've developed 4 new after-school programs that a lot of these kiddos would not have had the opportunity to be introduced to. And they also are partnering with the YMCA for after-school childcare development. And the one thing I've heard all over the United States is childcare is keeping a lot of people at home and not into the workforce. So this may be an opportunity to get those who want to work out at the job with additional childcare. The RAP program was another amazing thing through this Mexico Sustainability Program. This is 2 individuals who go out into manufacturers and helped aid when workers need some things, just little things, but what I found out when I was, some big things, I guess, too. But when I was out touring in one of the manufacturers, I found out from the manager that has significantly reduced turnover in their manufacturing. And they see a huge benefit and want to keep that going. And so that will be a program that should be sustainable because they are seeing rewards from it. So pretty impressive. And then also just partnering with the educational institutions, all are a part of keeping this community going and to the next level. Skilling people up, introducing students to the workforce. I told you I was going to go over, give you samples of 3 of the tools. The data tool that I've been provided is with Placer AI, and just to give you an example, holiday open house that the chamber had, keying in that date and the downtown district, which was mapped out, just that one day on the 16th, we had 2,600 visitors. The average time that they spent downtown was 97 minutes. We found out 52% of those visitors were from the Mexico zip code, but 4.1 came from Columbia, 4 from Fulton, 4 from Oz, and 3.6 from Centralia, and it trickled on down, but I didn't list them all. But this could help you target where you're going to market. What is affected. You don't want to spend money into an area that maybe you're not drawing from, and it kind of gives you a little circle of how far people are traveling for this particular event. Shop small, win big. Over that 4-day event, we had 5.3 thousand visitors. Average dwelling time was 107 minutes. The majority of the visits were on the opening day on Wednesday. Wednesday, which had about 3,000. That's because they had a lot of activities going on that day. They had the magic tree lighting, the Christmas carolers. And then Saturday, of the promotion, you'll remember we had that snow, so the inclement weather, but we still had over 1,000 visitors just in that mapped out downtown area. So this data tool, I am just learning about it, but these were two things that I pulled just to see what we could find out. So I'm sure there's a lot more information this could tell us to help us.
Gigi?
Yes.
How do you know what the average time people stay? How do you figure that one out?
The data, Placer AI does that for us, and it's all based on your all's phones. They're following.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
They're all following you, so, yeah.
Tracking your
it's
cell phone.
Yeah, turn off your locator.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of creepy. right?
Okay,
So,
thank you.
The HIP program, the Housing Incentive Program, I just wanted to list this in here. Of course, this was a program before I came, but housing is something that everyone communicates that we need, and I just wanted to bring this to your all's attention, that here's two successful developments that were related to the HIP program. One at Park Creek with 16 single-family sites, and then Saddlebrook that had 12. There's another HIP subdivision in the planning, but wasn't far enough along to mention. Here's one that I kind of found out just by working with my neighbors next door, Drew and Rita up there and on the third floor. I didn't realize you guys had a demolition project, and we didn't have that in our neck of the woods, but I am seeing great things. Not only are you beautifying the city, you're adding workforce housing. I went out and took pictures of these housings, and this is what we need. And if you'll remember, I said we had 22 new home building permits. 12 of those were fill lots or demolition projects. So I think that is remarkable, and you're getting workforce housing and not even really realizing it. So
What do those houses sell for when they use the demolition lots? And
you know what? I will get you that information. I should have gotten that.
well, I'm just
but-
curious, is what we call workforce housing, what price was workforce housing? You know, the permits that we see, or at least that I've seen, the permits are for $130,000, $140,000, $150,000, and that doesn't include a $10,000 or $20,000 lot or whatever it may be. And then
Or a free lot.
then we're suddenly at,
Well, I
we're
don't
suddenly at $200,000, and I don't see that as workforce housing.
Well, I don't think these lots are going for, all of them are going for 20,000. I saw one listed the other day for 9,000. So I know that I just looked at one today for myself, and it was a refurbished older home, little over 1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, a 2-car detached garage, totally redone, and it's listed for $169,000. I looked at another one that's listed that was a 1-bedroom attached, did have a finished basement, and it was listed for $168,000. That had a 1-car attached garage. But I don't know what the new ones are selling for, but I will get that information for you.
It's not that big a deal, I'm just curious.
Obviously, more work remains ahead. I recognize there is more to explore and understand as I continue to grow in this new role. But I can tell you some things that I'm going to be doing is engaging with local businesses and corporations. I'm going to explore and highlight community assets. We have so many here, like the military academy, and I see that they're having an open house on February. I need to find out if that's open to the public because I would like to learn more about that.
It is open.
Okay, good. I was going to ask you. So you guys have so many great assets that all contribute to the quality of life, and I need to learn them all. So I have a lot to learn. Promote City of Mexico Strength. I want to post out on Facebook all the good things that you have here. That just helps get your location out too. So And I always want to brag about your all's power of unity, a thriving community where collaboration and teamwork drive success, Mexico, Missouri. Just like I've said in many of my meetings that I really haven't seen county commissioners and the city administrator and the city and the county work so well together as I have here. And I did highlight the partnership on that and on Booth Health. And hospitals are an economic anchor to rural areas, and to have that unity and collaboration is a big asset. And I'm coming from a community that we lost our hospital too, and I can't tell you how many industries that was a big driving force if they had adequate access to health. So kudos to them working together and working to get this one step closer. Audrain County and the City of Mexico work with the Mark Twain Regional Council of Governments. This is another added coalition that is really important to help you with grants, to help you. And the one thing that they are working on, which is really important to this location, and I understand has been going on for some time, is the Highway 54. And, I got out my Google Maps and I tried to see how far to get to Chicago from there. And honestly, Highway 54 is the path of least resistance. And I was trying to figure out why they would want to go through the city of St. Louis to get there and deal with traffic. And so anyway, that was very interesting to me. I'm learning more about it, got a lot more to learn. I'm meeting with the Missouri Northeast Development Partnership. This is about a 15-county partnership. I've got a lot still to learn about that. It's a coalition. We're having a meeting down in Jeff City to talk to legislators. And trust me, coming from a community that is one county, when I went down to talk to legislators, and then I would watch this Northeast region talk, and they all are in this big group, it seemed like the legislators went to the bigger crowd. So I think that's an important asset that you do have other counties working to support your region. And then building together with Main Street, the board, Mexico's revitalization in the downtown district, building a sustainable future. And I've already mentioned this sustainable program and getting ahead in RAP, and just connecting the communities. And I really think because of this collaboration, Mexico's future looks very bright. Any questions?
So it sounds like mostly you put together, sort of put all the facts together about Mexico, and you're working from there, right?
Right. I've got a lot more to learn, obviously, about Mexico, and I plan to do that.
I don't think I heard in your presentation, and maybe you're not ready to say this, but about maybe some things that really might be concerns with our economic development that, maybe you're not ready to address that yet because you've only been here 2 months, but if you have something.
What are your concerns?
Well, what you see.
Concerns.
I'm looking for your I know I have, there are things I'm interested in, but.
I am very positive, so I am liking what I'm seeing so far. Housing is a concern.
Housing's a concern.
Yes, and I wanted to, that's why I wanted to show those two programs that work to help support that. And I did put on the comments, I am currently working with landowners, and I've talked to 2 landowners, meeting with one this week, because I have a developer who I've reached out to, he's out of state, who does workforce housing. So I am working on that aspect that your need, and I recognized it was a need because I'm looking myself. So I really know that you guys have a housing need. And you've got 280 jobs coming here with limited housing.
Maybe more.
Yeah, and here I am trying to promote. I had another call of someone interested in bringing more jobs. So housing is a focus of mine and probably my strength. with being an appraiser and a real estate agent. But definitely, I am trying to work on that. But since I wasn't far enough along, I didn't really talk about it. I can't mention any sites. I can't mention an investor because he's not sure. Until he finds out what they're asking for those sites, because it's got to be a win-win situation.
Okay, anybody else?
You mentioned Sebastian and Zenith, and just kind of FYI, maybe you know it, but he's gotten a number of national awards over the last couple of years, and maybe you weren't aware of that.
I was not.
These are just recent, but they do a really fine job. They don't employ a lot of people, do a really good job out there.
Well,
And they're
that
well
is,
known all over the country.
I did already tour there. He took me on a tour, so I have met Sebastian. I actually found out about that because I was scrolling through LinkedIn, and he asked to be my friend, so I got to see that he got that promotion. So, but anytime, if any of you guys, it's a team effort. Economic development is a team effort, so if you see anything like that, please let me know, because I would like to share it myself. So,
He's one of the good guys, and he won't tell you unless you ask him.
yeah.
But he's also got the ugliest truck I've ever seen, too. so. Other than that.
Okay, thank you. Nice report, thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we need to approve the minutes.
Move we approve.
Second.
Hay,
Abstain.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, we have, the next thing on our agenda is, excuse me, an ordinance which will require 2 readings by title only and passage. Bill number 2024-74. This has to do with the subdivision, Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, this subdivision is only a 2-lot subdivision. It's splitting of a single lot. To cover the details and where it's at, Rita Jackson.
This agenda item concerns a request for final approval of Friendship Corners subdivision plat submitted by 4 Points Land Surveying and Engineering, Inc. on behalf of Friendship Baptist Church. This subdivision is located on East Liberty Street, just east of Santa Drive. Friendship Baptist Church would like to sell their parsonage and have hired a surveyor to develop a subdivision plat to proceed with this process. This subdivision creates 2 lots from the prior single lot owned by the church. There is no new public infrastructure to be constructed as part of this subdivision, as both lots are currently served by public utilities and have street frontage. The submitted plat by 4 Point Land Surveying and Engineering, signed December 3rd, 2024, contains all the required information for a final plat. There are no improvements planned as part of this subdivision. Engineering staff has reviewed the plat, and it meets all of the city's subdivision requirements. 1 private easement is included to allow for the future owners of Lot B, which is where the parsonage stands, to have access to their garage. This garage faces north on land owned and will be retained by Friendship Baptist Church. Final approval was given to the plat at the December 3rd, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission. A copy of those minutes were attached. Staff recommends that council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance. This ordinance has been posted the required time.
Make a motion to read bill number 2024-74.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2024-74, an ordinance for final approval of Friendship Corners subdivision plat to the city of Mexico, Missouri. I move for second reading of bill number 2024-74.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2024-74, an ordinance for final approval of Friendship Corners subdivision plat to the city of Mexico, Missouri. I move for passage of bill number 2024-74.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, number 6, resolutions. These are only required one reading by title only and passage. And we begin with Bill number 2024-75, resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement with Great River Engineering for dam inspection services. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Sean. It is once again time that we take a look and review our dams in regards to an inspection to make sure that all the components and everything is working, and whether we're seeing any fatigue and so on, to make sure. And to cover the project, Chad Underwear.
So we had five firms submit on RFQs, and so very pleased with the amount of firms that did submit on this project. And so after an extensive review, we are going to recommend Great River Engineering. We did budget it. It did come in slightly over the budget on that, but through other purchases, and we feel comfortable that we can make that financial loss up. And so the staff recommends that the council proceed with Great River Engineering for the plan. So be happy to answer any questions about as far as any of the companies or anything on that.
Any questions?
What were the other bids? I'm curious. The other bids?
On RFQs, we don't get it. We just get the qualifications, and then we do a
Oh, okay.
assessment
I
interview.
lost it.
No,
Got you.
You're fine.
I move for reading of bill number 2024-75.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill number 2024-75, a resolution authorizing city manager to sign an agreement with Great Rivers Engineering for dam inspection service. I move for passage of bill number 2024-75.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, bill number 2024-76. This is the dog park. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, this is for the design and installation of a dog park at Lakeview Park, and we did receive bids, and to cover the bids and the recommendation, once again, Chad Unruh.
So whenever we put the dog park bid out, we did have an alternate option, one with galvanized fencing or with black vinyl. We did have two companies submit a bid. One of them did not meet all the specs, so that's why it has been withdrawn. But the other one did meet specs and more in fencing, and the staff would recommend that we go with the black vinyl versus the galvanized. It is in our capital outlay project, and so we do have the money budgeted for the additional $2,000 if we do go black vinyl on that. So from aesthetics-wise, I just felt that it'd be best be on the black vinyl side of versus galvanized.
So you're recommending the 41?
Yes, the black vinyl option, yes.
So how long until the dogs can run wild?
Well, they are projected to be done by end of February.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Dang.
Be fired up.
so yes, so
Have you figured out how we're going to clean this pen?
how are we gonna clean it? We'll just mow it away.
You're not driving the bus anymore.
Oh, yeah, one more time.
You got time?
To have a motion.
You know, I think I'm in favor of a dog park, but I am concerned about the issue that Chris mentioned. I've mentioned it before. And, you know, we can say people are supposed to clean up after their own dogs. Ain't gonna happen. Some will, responsible people will, others won't. We can talk about a big dog area, we can talk about a small dog area. Who's gonna monitor all this stuff? It's gonna cost us more money. And, you know, I think, you know, Mr. Haig had mentioned previously, we were talking about chickens, there won't be that many, and we talked about other things, there won't be that many. I think there'll be more dog people that'll use this thing than we expect. I'm just concerned about some of those issues that I don't see us addressing, and well, that's a concern. I guess I've got a couple other concerns as to, you know, the size, and where do we come up with all the sizes, and is that recommended by the fencing people, or, you know?
So as far as the monitoring, it'll start out with self-governing. We'll have a list, rules listed as far as the self-governing of the dog park. Then if that becomes an issue, then we'll have to address it far as of the monitoring of that, as far as the dogs, as far as the manure and the doo-doo stuff, So it'll start out as self-governing, If, then depending on with what you guys get response-wise and myself gets response-wise, depending on how we would address the next step of that, So far as the dimensions was, it fits about a 1 acre. I thought the size, and it was comparable to Fulton's Dog Park with what I was seeing on that. And so that's why with where it's going at is the dimensions felt that was the right area. So that came from me in the specs, not from the dog park. And then as far as the dimensions to have a small dog and a large dog area was just for the safety of the dogs too.
Sure, no, I understand that.
Is where those dimensions, just of looking at it, researching online and what they were recommending as far as dimensions go.
My totally limited knowledge of dog parks,
Yes.
totally, have a friend who takes dogs to a dog park out of state, and he has talked about, this is a private dog park, they pay to use it, and he has talked about dogs getting in fights, and then sometimes owners having arguments. I won't say getting in fist fights, but having arguments. But they have people there because it's privately owned who monitor some of that kind of stuff and hopefully help break. How are we going to handle that? Do we have any kind of liability if dogs tear up each other? One dog tears up big dog tears up a little dog. How does that work?
Dave, you may be able to answer better on that one as far as the liability side of it, but far as they're choosing to use the park, and then where we would have the liability at is with what we would put in place rules-wise as far as vaccinations and so forth, and if we would charge a fee. But far as the right to use, they're using a free amenity of the park.
Is there any concrete in this park?
We're not starting the concrete, so in the small area, the entry level, we are doing a gravel to start. But depending on the usage and so forth, we could, he did put an option for us to pave that area, but we would do that area if need be. And so then we're using it in Lakeview because of the natural shade structures of the trees. So we won't need any shade structure while the trees to provide that.
Dave, what do you think about liability?
I think I shouldn't speculate about liability in open session.
Okay.
Because
That means we've got some.
Well,
you can't draw that conclusion from what I said. So, we could talk about it in closed session. I could do a closed memo for you. But it's really a bad idea for me to give a speculative opinion about that in open session. And so if you want to table it until I can do that, that's something up to you.
Have another item on our 19th agenda.
anybody interested in the fence? On a motion?
But we do have insurance, of course, so.
I make a motion to read bill number 2024-76.
I second it.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
No.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2024-76, resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Moran Fencing LLC for the construction of a dog park at Lakeview Park. I move for passage of bill number 2024-76.
Second.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
No.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Let me explain one more time that I'm not opposed to a dog park. I would like some answers to some of those questions before I vote yes.
Okay. Item C, bill number 2024-77, the resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a contract documents with Brown and Root. This is over stormwater. In fact, we have quite a number of these. Go ahead. Mr. Slagle.
Yes. The next 6 resolutions all have to deal with the storm water improvement projects that we are proposing. All of this is grant funded that we receive through the ARPA funding, and then we match with our ARPA funds. So we were able to leverage about $700,000 of our money into an additional $7 million in order to do these projects. So this is projects that's going to happen all over town, so there's going to be a lot of things tore up. So to cover each one of these, Drew Willifer.
Is he going to cover all these, and then we'll go through them, or is he going to cover each one individually? I think that's different streets.
They are different locations.
contracts.
If you'll permit, I will bring up sort of a quick location map. I can't do that
Can we
from
do
here.
it that way, Dave, or would they freak out?
We have to do them all individually because they're all separate projects.
That in it.
My apologies here. I should have had this on speed dial, so to speak. I'll bring up a quick location map to start this, though. That way everyone has eyes on where we are at. So I believe that's the one.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
good. The particular resolution before you relates to the Curtis and Love and Abbott project locations, and so that particular location is shown. This is the Curtis Street area, and we are reconstructing, I should say, we are constructing with this project all new underground storm sewer, along with curb and gutter and sidewalk, and then a full resurfacing of the roadway for Curtis. And then similarly at Love and Abbott, we have a project which will reconstruct the intersection of that and then pipe the stormwater up from that intersection northward to actually intersect Curtis Street. So all of these locations are going to have substantial improvements. No longer will you see ditches along Curtis Street. No longer will you have stormwater running in those ditches. It'll be all underground with curb and gutter for those streets. And the residents will have a sidewalk stretching from all the way on the west end at Monroe, or 22, to the east end at Wade. So this will interconnect the schools along there. And then here in a minute, you also see we have a project along Kentucky. The Curtis and Kentucky projects are our two largest ones. Something to note that I will go over one time and save some time with this. All these projects followed a very standard process. The same process was used for each of these. We have two different grants, though, through the Department of Natural Resources. One is a 21% match grant, and one is a $1 match for $5 million worth of work. There are a total of 11 project locations that were started with this grant, but due to costs coming back higher, we ended up canceling 2 of those locations, namely some curb and gutter work along Lakeview, and then also the South Jefferson Road bridges that we had a neighborhood meeting on, and then realized we need to do some more work for the historical aspect of those. Those 2 were cut, and we combined some other projects into a single bid as well. So we are left with a total of 7 bids. So tonight you have 6 on there. We have 1 more that will be bid out tomorrow, and that will then be brought before council, likely in the January meeting, that's what I'm assuming. We've already worked with DNR on this to get the contract with them hopefully set up for your meeting, the second meeting in December, and everything should be good to go in regards to them. We've provided them all the paperwork for that to take place. With that, it's important to note the city has budgeted for all of these projects that I'm presenting to you tonight, so they're all covered in the 24 to 25 annual budget. Some of this work will go past that into the next fiscal year. All of that's been budgeted for. And as Bruce mentioned, we're leveraging ARPA funds to essentially, if I remember correctly, $1 of city money is essentially close to almost $11 of money that we're leveraging for. So for every $1 we get $11. In this particular project with the Curtis and combining the Love and Abbott intersection, we put bids out on October 15th, and they were in the ledgers as well, an advertisement on the 16th. All of these follow a similar pattern. In this particular case, we only received one bid. That was from Brown and Root Industrial Services out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, that may seem alarming in one way, but they're actually working with a local contractor, Flowmaster Construction. So this is a case where you have a general and then a subcontractor working. The subcontractor is going to be doing the work, and Flowmaster routinely works with this company, and so there's nothing alarming that we have found as staff reviewing their bid. The bid actually comes in right near the engineer's estimate, just shy of it, I should say. So we are recommending to proceed with this particular resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Brown and Root Industrial Services, but it is being proposed as contingent to the Department of Natural Resources approval. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
You've already talked to the Department of Natural Resources, so
Verbally, we have approval, but we don't have the,
just need a signed document.
yeah.
We don't have the signed document back yet. We're supposed to have it this week, and we'll have to come together at another meeting yet this year to approve that document.
You weren't here, we were talking about it, but we'll talk about this in a little bit. Okay.
I move for reading of bill number 2024-77.
Second.
Page. Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill number 2024-77, a resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Brown and Root Industrial Services LLC for stormwater improvements along Curtis Street, stormwater grant, big number, and Love and Abbott Street, stormwater grant with a big number, contingent to approval of Missouri Department of Natural Resources. I move for passage of bill number 2024-77.
Second.
Page.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Continuing on, turn the page, bill number 2024-78. We continue with our street work, and Mr. Slagle.
Yeah, we'll just let Drew keep going.
Same principles apply. This location is for Pollock Road and also Teal Lake Access Road. Pollock Road is on the screen before you. This is by the MMA pond, the lake over there. This is just north of the spillway, so this would take the watershed that is upstream of all of that. It's currently a weight-limited structure. It needs to be replaced, so that's why it made our list. The work will be replacing this with a precast box culvert, and this will include all the excavation and road restoration that's part of the project as well. In this case, we received 3 bids, and TB Dozing and Excavation out of Jamestown, Missouri, was the low bid on this project. As you may see, this is just a little above the engineer's estimate. Their bid was $322,168.03. Meanwhile, the engineering estimate was approximately $312,000. We've spoken with TB Dozing and Excavation. We've also called references. Everything checks out. There's no reason why we would preclude them from accepting the award, or offering the award to them. Generally speaking, I don't think they work in this area all that often, being out of Jamestown, but all that I've heard is generally good. So we'd recommend proceeding with awarding this project, with authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with TB Dozing and Excavation out of Jamestown, Missouri, for this grant. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Does the new bridge, does that do away with the weight limit, or does it?
Yeah,
It does.
it will. And it's, my apologies, it'll be a box culvert in that case. And then on the case of the Teal Lake Access Road, you may recall, this particular situation arose. This is our only route to safely get to the largest dam in Mexico, the Teal Lake Dam. Currently, that road is in very poor condition. It has a slope failure. It is not safely traversable. If something needs to happen with the dam quickly, we'll be taking a risk to reach it. So this project was selected to replace 4 72-inch diameter corrugated metal pipes that failed. And thankfully, we got a good bid on both of these projects. But that's the reason why we have these two lumped together, because they're both a very similar type of work.
The Teal Lake one, is that on the south end of the lake?
It would be more on the north end. So the spillway and this area actually is north even of that. There's a lake north of Teal Lake, and it was an old coolant lake used by AP Green back in the day. It's got a distinct color to it if you ever see it on the map. And this would be even north of that. So picture between Teal Lake and the AP Green old refractory site. It's between those two locations.
So this isn't a public road necessarily?
We have a permanent easement over it. It's not a public road, you're right. So we have a permanent easement through there with which we conduct work at the dam and the spillway and anything related to Teal Lake.
On Pollock Road, will that close that down for a little while when you're working on it?
It will, yep. Yeah, and we would anticipate most of these, the unique aspect of some of these projects is we were initially concerned about timing. If one contractor were to get all of this, could we get all of this work done, all $7 million by the deadline, which is essentially June 1st of '26. But that didn't happen. So most of these projects do not have an overlap with contractors. There is an exception. But because of that, we anticipate quite a bit of this construction starting in the March to April timeframe.
Move for reading by title only of bill number 2024-78.
Second.
Katie?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Bill 2024-78, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with TB Dozing and Excavation LLC for the Pollock Road Culvert and Teal Lake Access Road Culvert Replacement Projects. ARPA Stormwater Grant DNR SWE6A CF0D6A299. Contingent to approval. Did I get it right?
That's a big number.
Contingent to approval by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Move for passage 2024-78.
Second.
Haig?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Okay, we continue with the street work. Item E, Bill number 2024-79, resolution asking for Calhoun Street. Mr. Drew. We'll go on to Drew.
This is another location that was selected as part of the grant application process, North Calhoun from Love going north to the town branch. That area experiences quite a bit of erosion. It's a fairly steep hill just to our east here. And so we selected that to be one of our locations where we introduce new underground storm sewer pipe, curb and gutters, resurface the asphalt through there, and then construct a sidewalk. So a very similar premise to what is going on in Kentucky and Curtis, like I mentioned earlier. In this case, we received a single bid from Brown and Root Industrial Services. In this case, you'll notice as well, this is a single bid. It is over the engineer's estimate. That is a bit of a difference between what was bid in the morning and the afternoon. Between that and the other project that came in under, it essentially offsets one another. So we are recommending to proceed, even though it is over the engineer's estimate, to award this to Brown and Root Industrial Services. I failed to mention once again, this is essentially Flowmaster Construction as a subcontractor doing all of the work. So those are the people that you will see on site doing the work here. And we'd recommend proceeding. If you have any questions, their bid being $545,777.91. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for reading bill number 2024-79.
Second.
Haig?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Bill number 2024-79, resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Brown and Root Industrial Services LLC for the North Calhoun Street Stormwater Improvements Project, contingent to the approval by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. I move for passage of bill number 2024-79.
Second.
Haig?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Okay, item F, Bill number 2024-80. We are now going to talk about Anderson Street. Shall I just continue with him? Go ahead.
This project is located just to our north and then a little bit to our west. This was selected somewhat in relation to the Calhoun project to bring the general area near the downtown up to more of a standard. This is going to add curb and gutter, underground storm sewer pipe. Another reason why this particular project was chosen, because we have seems to be a natural seep condition that's over here, and you may notice it tends to stay wet quite a bit of the year over on Anderson Street. So this is going to address the issues that we have with that seep. It's going to pipe all of our stormwater underground. And then we also do have that lot to our west here where we store snow, and that snow melts, and then this is going to introduce the option of filtering those to meet our DNR stormwater quality requirements as well. So we'll end up with a few curb and gutter inlets that have filters so that we can capture any kind of particulates or oils that run off of that snow that has been piled up in the parking lot, the old Pearls parking lot to our west. So this project will include work along Jefferson Street. We'll be rebuilding some of the curb and gutter. There's a business to the north there where curb and gutter is somewhat insufficient for the amount of water right now that goes through there, and so that water actually arches up and gets onto the sidewalk and then proceeds down the sidewalk. I know that's been a little bit of a concern for the business there at that location. We're going to address all of that with this project. So we'd recommend, we ended up having this particular project be very competitive. We had 4 bids on this. The low bid being Sam Gaines Construction out of New Bloomfield, Missouri, another contractor that we don't have experience working with. So we did call references with this contractor, and we've also spoken with them directly. And we're pleased to report there's no red flags at all here. They had a bid of $566,082.40. That is a little above the engineer's estimate, but it is the low bid. It is a solid bid, so we'd recommend proceeding to authorize the signing of contract documents with Sam Gaines Construction out of New Bloomfield for the East Anderson Stormwater Improvement Project. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Does that price include your filters?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
I move for reading of bill number 2024-80.
Second.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2024-80, a resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Sam Gaines Construction Incorporated for the East Anderson Street Stormwater Improvements Project, contingent to the approval by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. I move for passage of bill number 2024-80.
Second.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, we move on to item G. This is another street. It's one that I'm going to ask a lot about, and so I'm just going to give it to you, Drew.
Okay, gladly. This is one of our largest of the projects along North Kentucky Street. As everyone's aware, that has some substantial ditches to it. So this, along with the Curtis Street project, will remove all of that. You'll now have underground storm sewer running through both locations. And for this project, we have planned, I should say, curb and gutter, asphalt resurfacing, sidewalk construction along the entire length of this project. I think it's a very good project. We also took bids for this project and had a very competitive bid opening. We received a total of 5 bids for this project, with Rad Baker Construction submitting the low bid at $1,437,865.90. The engineer's estimate was about $1.67 million, so it came in under budget on this one. And we've talked with the contractor. Rad Baker's done work with us before successfully, so we don't see any issue with proceeding to enter into a contract with them on it. And we'd recommend council authorize the city manager to sign the contract documents with Rad Baker for the North Kentucky Street project. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for reading of bill number 2024-81.
Second.
Page,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bill number 2024-81, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Rad and Baker Construction LLC for the North Kentucky Street Stormwater Improvements Project, ARPA Stormwater Grant, DNR SW 745E73C59FEE, contingent to approval by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. I move for approval of bill number 2024-81.
Second.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, we moved to another part of town, and we are now on North Washington Street. Drew?
This location is located between Allison and Robinson, as you mentioned, on North Washington Street. This is a location that is similar to Calhoun in that it was chosen because it's on a hill. It's got gravel shoulders on it, so it does become a bit of a maintenance concern for us. We have storm sewer located on the south end where that gravel drains, and then the gravel gets into the storm sewer system or out on the road, and we get called out to replace that gravel, put it back up in the hill. This was chosen for that reason, so we took bids to essentially rework this entire block of the street, adding curb and gutter, adding curb inlets, adding sidewalk, all of that to this section of the street. We had 4 bids in this process that were received, with Plan B development being the low bid at a cost of $388,341 even, with the engineer's estimate just a couple thousand above that. We saw that the project was it's a good bid, good project. One thing I do need to note on this particular project is that we will have to relocate the sanitary sewer in this block. DNR does have sufficient funding because our projects have come in under budget. I have confirmed that we will be able to lump that cost in with our ARPA project, that we just have to stay below the total amount for our designated grant funding. So we'll likely see some additional cost with this particular project. That will be brought back to council at another date for authorization to proceed to relocate that sanitary sewer system. So we'd recommend proceeding to award Plan B, or at least authorize the city manager to sign documents with Plan B Construction that's located out of Mexico, Missouri. We have no issues with their performance. As you may know, they are an on-call contractor for the city and do sanitary sewer work for us very frequently. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I move for reading of bill number 2024-82.
Second.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs, Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill number 2024-82, resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Plan B Development LLC for the North Washington Street Stormwater Improvement Project, ARPA Stormwater Grant DNR-SW-E6A CFO D6A299, contingent on approval by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. I move for passage of bill number 2024-82.
Second.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, Drew, I just want to say thank you, and your staff too. As I was reading through this and all these streets, how much is that? That's over $7 million worth of work, and we're getting that through the AARP grant, which would be very difficult for us to pay for if we didn't have that help. So in order to do that, in order to look over all that, it just occurred to me that you all have spent a lot of work on it. You know what's going on where, and so I want to thank you and want to thank your staff. You can pass that on from the council. Okay, thank you. Okay, we move on to other business, and we are now going to discuss the December 23rd meeting. We have something else on the agenda too. Mr.
Right. Normally, we would cancel the second meeting in December because of the holidays. In order, we have an item that we must deal with before the end of the year, which is a contract with the DNR, which provides all the funding for all this. That's why all this is contingent. So, council, we've discussed the idea of having a special meeting then, December 19th, which is a Thursday, at noon, and to come in and do the one item and move on. So, at this point, if that's agreeable with you, we'd have a motion to cancel the December 23rd meeting, pay all the necessary bills and claims on that one, and schedule the 19th for a special meeting to approve that item.
Does that require two motions, or?
I think we probably should do it as one to cancel and pay the bills, and another one to schedule the second meeting.
Okay. Cancel. 23rd.
And pay the bills.
And pay the bills.
Second.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about.
Make a motion to hold a special session at noon on December 19th.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
And pay the claims.
Make Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Haig,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, we move on to item 8. We have the council comments. So I think I will start with you, Larry.
Okay, I really don't have much. This dog park thing brought back into my mind that I thought I'd had for some time. And I'm not second guessing anybody. I'm not doing anything except trying to figure some things out. It seems to me that whenever we have bills, whether they be resolutions not so much, but ordinances, it seems to me that we're getting the pros and why we should do this, and I understand that, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. But it seems to me that there's always cons to, what if we don't do this? What happens? Whatever this is. I don't care if it's a dog park or fixing a street, or I don't care what it is. What if we don't do this? What if we don't spend the money for that? Is there a way to get the cons of items that come before the council? Or is that am I way off base?
Wouldn't that be a question?
That is a question.
No, I'm saying, wouldn't that be a question?
We're doing that. Okay.
You're asking people to make judgments. That's what our job is, to make the judgment.
But we got to have information to do that.
Well, we have talked about the dog park, and we've talked about it fairly extensively.
I'm
So-
using, Vicki, you didn't
Yeah.
listen. I said, this just brought it back to my attention again because I've been thinking about it for some time. And I have, because it seems to me that everything that comes up isn't perfect. There's other things that if we don't do this, as proposed, what happens? And I think that's what staff needs to explain to us. We don't have the background information to come up with that sitting here, in my opinion. Maybe I'm way off base, but I'm telling you why I'm asking the question.
I would address that in a couple of ways. One is that each one of these projects are budgeted, which means during the budgeting time is when we vet merits of a project. And then once it's budgeted, that gives the staff the green light to go ahead and prepare it and bring it forth.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. But in order, we don't spend a lot of time during the budget process. We don't have several study sessions to go over each item in the budget. And I don't think we should go over each item in the budget. But we don't have study sessions to go over several different steps. So we still don't have the background information that you guys have.
So, and that's why we try to highlight each of those capital projects that if you do have questions. The other thing I would say is if you have questions about any particular project, I would always encourage you to bring those, to us, and we can certainly always try to get you those answers even prior to the meeting if you have them. So, but I also know from having done this a long time that when something does have questions and you hold on it, it's never made the project worse, usually. It's always made it better because you got the answers. So I don't believe that it's a bad thing to ask questions either. So.
Chris, no? Are you done? I'm sorry. Larry.
No, it wasn't a comment. It was a comment. I'm done.
Chris, no?
The only thing I have to say is, we all saw the mayor's grand marshal Saturday riding around in a convertible.
Yeah.
What a deal.
Great Mercedes.
Yeah. It's a good long parade. If you didn't see it, I think I fell asleep in the middle and didn't wake up till the end. It's pretty long. That's all I have.
Nice. You woke up at the end when it all just burst in front of your place of business, right?
A fire truck came by and woke me up.
Okay, well, Steve, and then I'll come back to you.
My only thing is, Drew on the Curtis Street, how much will that affect flow of traffic? Because you have two schools there.
Right.
And so, does there need to be a contingency plan for movement of buses and things like that for that time period when that's doing that?
I don't believe so. We're going to be working closely with schools. We already have been working closely with them. I think you're going to be able to find that we have sufficient clearance of the roadway to get traffic through, including buses. The trick would probably be a bus that is making a turn if there is a piece of equipment right at an intersection. That can get a little tricky, but we'll be working with the contractor. They won't be allowed to be closing Curtis Street. They'll need to be making provisions in the traffic control to keep a lane open. So I don't think you're going to find a massive amount of change, but it will disrupt things to a degree. With any construction project, there comes disruption.
Thanks.
You get to go last. Okay. First of all, Gigi, thanks for your presentation. You highlighted a lot of stuff that I try and tell people that Mexico, we got a lot of good things going on here. So, and to see somebody coming in new from out of town and seeing it fairly quickly, it's always nice to hear. And on that note, I'll say, Drew, all your projects, I don't know, almost every one of them, I've heard complaints from people. And it's like, no, those streets have had complaints. And so, it's a good thing. No, it's a good thing. I've heard, and it amazes me that your staff has figured each one of these out, and you're going to make a lot of people happy. And it also makes me happy that they're all over town. It's not going to be one of those projects where you're spending all your money over in this area or all your money over that area. So it makes it very, very exciting, and can't wait to see what all we get for $7 million. So.
A lot of concrete.
A lot of concrete, yeah. And appreciate all the work you're doing on the dog park. I know there's some concerns, and I appreciate that, but, it's been one of my things for some years, so appreciate it. That's all I have.
Okay, my turn. And then Mr. Slagle, you'll go after me. First of all, about the parade. It was a lot of fun. But I have to tell you that I was on the back of that little convertible. I don't know if you saw that or not, that little Mercedes convertible. And it was parked on an incline. It was an incline. And the driver didn't warn me when he was taking off, and I almost went off the It was kind of scared me. But anyway, I hung on, and okay. I've never seen so many little children in town as that parade, and they all had their bags. They were having such a good time. And it was good weather, and that was fun. And then also, don't forget, we still have another weekend with the Presser performances. And if you have not seen My Fair Lady, it's a mature presentation. I would say adults would enjoy it. But in any case, it's very good, as usual. And then finally, if we're not going to meet on the 23rd, it's a little early, but I'd like to wish all of you a happy Christmas and a good New Year, and enjoy your families together, and we'll get started again next year and get a lot accomplished. Mr. Slagle.
I have nothing this time, Your Honor.
Okay.
Move adjourned.
Public comments.
Public comments.
Public comments, sorry. Public comments, if anybody would like to speak to the council's address, go to the microphone, say your name, say your address. You've got 3 minutes to speak. And if not,
Yeah, you can go, Mr.
Move adjourned.
Second.
okay, thank you guys.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.